Hi yogis. I wanted to take some time and dedicate a video specifically to get into the low back. For those of you who suffer from sciatica or any SI joint issues, you will know that this area is no joke. And when we are experiencing pain, sometimes we don't know exactly what to do. So some of the work that we're going to do here today will be really nice if you are like in the middle of a sciatic episode, that you can do some of these poses, and also just maybe incorporating this video into your practice, into your routine, maybe weekly or more, really depending on what you need, as a way of just preventing further issues, because we're going to spend some time stretching and strengthening the low back, the SI joint. So the sciatic nerve is kind of a special part of our body because it originates around the sacrum, and then we have these long nerves that run down through the glutes, down this outer seam of the leg, outside of the knee, and down to the ankle. So the sciatic nerves are the longest nerves in the body. So a lot of times when we're experiencing some of this pain in our low back, we'll actually feel it all the way down to our ankle, and it can be very intense. So I hope that this video will be helpful for you, for any of you who may be suffering from some of these issues. Also today, for our work that we're going to do, I've got a block and a strap. And I would go ahead and get your strap, and I'd loop it up, and I hope you guys can see pretty good, but I've got my loop not too big, so I've got this big long tail, and then the loop of my strap, and then we can adjust the size of the loop as we get into our practice. So if you don't have these props with you, I would suggest go and get these props. So we're going to actually begin standing today. So just coming to the top of your mat, and we begin in mountain pose Tadasana. Now, one of the biggest culprits of SI joint issues is from our posture and how we stand. And I see this a lot with prenatal mamas, that we tend to kind of dump our weight into our belly. We have this big curve in the lumbar spine, and we're putting so much compression on those nerve endings where the sciatic nerves originate. So what we want to do is we want to spread our toes and root the feet into the ground and stand up into the legs. And then I like to bring my hands onto the body. I'm going to bring a hand onto the belly and a hand onto the low back. And we're going to draw the tailbone down and pull the belly up and in. And you'll feel your abdominal muscles working here to hold the belly in. And that is one way that we can kind of take a little bit of pressure off the low back. And then roll your shoulders open, reach into the arms and the crown of the head high. Now just bring your gaze to a point. And find your breath in and out of the nose. And as you take a few breaths here as we begin, I want you to think about maintaining this beautiful posture, specifically holding the loop of posture in the low belly lifting up and the tailbone drawing down. Let's take 2 more breaths. As you inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. And on your exhale, shift the weight back into your heels. Sit back into your hips. We're going to go through a chair pose nice and slow. Start to draw in the navel, lower the chin down, release your hands by your feet and bow the head. Now I've got my knees bent. I'm striving to bring my sitting bones about the height of my knees. On your next inhale, sweep the arms by your ears, lean back and stand tall, pressing into the feet. Exhale, lower your arms back to mountain pose, to our beautiful posture. Inhale, lifting tall. This time as you exhale, we're going to draw in the navel, start to sit back in the hips. I want you to think about a 5 count exhale. Releasing the head, releasing the low back, everything kind of drapes over the knees and thighs. Inhale, sweep your arms up, pressing into the feet. Rise up. Exhale, release the arms. Again, inhale. This time, think about a 6-count exhale as you descend through chair pose. And I've got my feet about hips-width distance apart. Rounding the low back, dropping the head. Inhale, sweep the arms by your ears and lean back. Rise up. Exhale, bring your arms down by your side as you return to that beautiful posture. Inhale, lift your arms. Pressing into the feet. Exhale, sit back into the hips, nice and slow. Draw in the navel. Let your tailbone release down. Bow the head. Lower your hands by your feet. Inhale. Sweep your arms up. Lean back and press up to stand. Exhale, arms by your side. Let's do one more round. This dynamic chair. Inhale. This time, make it your longest, slowest exhale. Maybe even 8-count exhale. Bowing the head. Inhale, sweep your arms by the ears, lean back and rise up. Exhale, bring your arms down by your side. And just pause. Return to Tadasana, to that mountain pose. Rolling the chest wide, standing tall. Bring your hands onto the backs of the legs. This will help roll the arm bones open. And take a big inhale, lift the chest. And on your exhale, the chin and navel draw into the body as you slowly fold forward. Slide your hands down towards your ankles. I've got a soft bend in the knees. Just bow the head and hold on to opposite elbows. See if you can bring your ears through your biceps so that the weight is in the elbows. And then maybe you do a little sway side to side. All right, we'll come back to center. Release your hands to the ground and come onto your hands and knees. Okay, so we're in a neutral tabletop position. Hands are under the shoulders, knees under the hips. So we're going to start to do some cat-cow movement. As you inhale, lower your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your chin, and on your exhale, press into the hands and knees. Round, coil the spine as you lift the navel up. Inhale, lower the belly, arching the back, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine. Try to draw your tailbone underneath you and lift up to the back of the heart. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to a neutral spine. So now we're going to come onto our fists. So I've got my fists, my knuckles facing down, and my thumbprint is pointing forward. And so this is going to deepen or accentuate the curve in the spine. So from here, let's take an inhale, lower the belly, lift your chin, lift your tailbone. And exhale, press into the knuckles, round your spine, bow the head, and draw your navel into the body. Inhale, lower the belly, lifting the chest. Exhale, coil, round the spine, lift the navel, lift the heart. Let's do one more of those. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to neutral. So one last variation here. Now we come onto our fingertips. So I've got the space between my index and middle finger is what is facing forward. So we're going to walk our fingertips back maybe half an inch so the hands are right under the shoulders. Biggest curve of the spine yet. Take an inhale, lower the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone up, arching the back. Exhale, press into your fingertips. Hold the belly in, bow the head. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the chest, lifting the tailbone. Exhale, round the spine, press into the fingertips. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Good. Let's come on to our flat palms. From here, take an inhale and lengthen your whole spine. On your exhale, let's slowly sit back, chest to thighs. Draw your navel in, your chin. I like to bend the elbows to the ground as you bow the head all the way down to release your neck. Inhale, come up to that long, neutral spine. Maybe at the top of the inhale, just bring the chin forward slightly. And exhale, nice and slow. The chin and navel draw in. You bend your elbows. Set your belly onto your thighs and bow the head. Release the nape of the neck. One more of those. Inhale, long, neutral spine. It's called Chakravasana. Exhale, consciously pull the low belly in. Draw your chin in. Bend the elbows to the ground and let your belly, your chest rest on the thighs as you drop the head down. Now just stay here. See if you can breathe into the hips and the low back. Please return back to the hands and knees. And so now we're just going to make some circles with the hips, just circling the hips out wide and down to the heels. Good. And when the time feels right, we'll go the opposite direction with your circles. So circular movements are very therapeutic for our bodies. It helps release synovial fluid, keeping our joints lubricated. And you'll slowly make your way back to a neutral position. And let's just open up the fingertips wide. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, tuck your toes. Let's lift the hips to downward facing dog. Reach long into the arms. You can have a little bend in the knees if you'd like. Take an inhale and exhale. Bring your knees back down to the mat. Okay. So let's swing our legs out and come to seated. All right, so come into a comfortable seat. I've got my left leg crossed in front. We're going to have the hands on the knees. And on your inhale, circle forward and exhale, circle back. And I like to just close the eyes and kind of let the head get into it. This is a very nice, gentle movement that is wonderful to help open up the low back. So inhale circles you forward, and the exhale circles you back. And then when it's time, we're going to go the opposite direction. So same thing, same breathing pattern. We're just circling the body in the opposite direction. Maybe let's do one more rotation. And return back to center. Sitting tall, big inhale. And exhale, slowly fold forward. You can walk your hands forward. You can also reach over and use that block under your hands or your elbows. And just let your shoulders and arms become soft. Now what I like to think about in this pose is anchoring the tailbone down. And there's a gentle hugging of the legs into the hip sockets. So kind of pulling into the midline of the body. And then just close your eyes and become aware of the highest point where the spine rounds. And see if you can breathe in and out of that point, that highest peak of the spine. Make sure to relax your jaw, your tongue. Slowly begin to lift back up. So we've got the left leg in front. So walk your right hand out to the right. And sweep your left arm up to the sky. Take a big inhale. And on your exhale, lean over to your right. Keep some action downward with the right hand. And see if this can help you bow open the left body a little bit more. Breathe into the left side body. Feeding all those muscles in between the ribs with fresh oxygen and breath. Inhale, lifting all the way up, and exhale back to center. Let's switch the legs. So now we're going to bring the right leg in front. And we have our hands on the knees. So we begin to make the circular movement with the spine. And on your inhale, you circle forward, and your exhale, you circle back. And like I said before, I like to close my eyes and just kind of let my head get into it. It becomes like a little bit of a dance, this beautiful dance, the movement of breath and body. And let's say on your next breath, please go the opposite direction with your circles. Okay, let's do one more circle. And we'll make our way back to center. Sitting tall, inhale, and exhale, slowly fold forward. And you just go into the fold, to the depth that feels good for you. You can stay on your hands, you can come onto the elbows, and then soften your shoulders, soften your arms and hands, maybe let your head relax here. And then just those little micro adjustments of anchoring the tailbone down, hugging the legs into the midline of the body, and observing that highest peak of the spine and breathing in and out of that point. And these are just little micro adjustments to help us stay present, and really so that our time here is the most potent, that we're not diluting it by letting our mind wander. Stay with it. Just relax. And you're welcome to lift up nice and slow. So with our right leg in front, we'll take the left hand out to the left. And sweep the right arm up as you inhale, and on your exhale, lean over to the left. So again, we want to keep some action in the left hand to help press open the right side body. Feeling this arc, this rainbow open of the right body. And just breathing into whatever you feel there. And maybe you might even need to let that right thigh drop down a little bit away from you. Let's inhale, sweep up into the right arm, and exhale back to center. All right. Set your block over to the side. We'll stretch out the legs. Lean back onto the hands. And we're going to roll the knees and toes in and out. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and butterfly the knees open. But what we want to do is press the heels away from the body. We want the feet far enough away from the body that it almost feels like the feet are about to start to separate. So the legs are in this diamond shape. With the hands on the knees, take a big inhale, scoop up the low back, lift the chest, and exhale nice and slow. We're going to keep the chest open as we begin to fold gently forward, nice and slow. Allow the head to round towards the arches of the feet, and you can slide the hands down to the feet. Or if you want to go deeper, you can thread the arms through the inside of your diamond shape and place your palms face down. This kind of locks the arms. This is to me, this is a lot deeper, a little bit more intense. So just being mindful that you go to the appropriate depth where you can still breathe with ease, with sweetness. And we want to make sure that the jaw is relaxed, the face, the eyes, the tongue. Just as you inhale, sense the breath moving down to the tailbone. And as you exhale, it moves up and out of the heart. And just follow that pathway of breath for a few more rounds. We inhale down the spine to the tip of the tailbone. Exhaling up the spine and out of the heart. And stay here 5 more breaths. Please don't rush the breath. Remain soft. No matter what may come up, this can be an intense, deep stretch. So maintaining that sense of ease. So when you're ready to exit this pose, if you've got your arms threaded under the legs, slowly unthread them, and we lift up very, very slowly, very carefully. Bring your hands back to the knees and just return back to lifting the low back, sitting up nice and tall. And then again, we're going to lean back onto the hands and stretch out the legs and roll the knees and toes in and out. All right, so we're going to move into pigeon pose on the hands and knees, but I'm going to just do just a quick demo of what your modification will be. If pigeon pose is maybe too deep, too intense, or you have any kind of knee issues, we did some work already on the hands and knees, so you can decide. So if you need a modified version for pigeon pose, what we'll do is I'm going to start with my left leg extended. I'm going to take my right ankle and cross it over the left thigh, and then lean back onto the hands and bend the left knee so the left foot is on the ground. And then you can decide if you want to screw your hips closer to that left heel. But we want to keep drawing back the toes so there's some flexion in the ankle to protect the knee joint. So you can decide how deep to go in that pose. And for those of you who are ready to go into pigeon pose on the hands and knees, we'll sweep the feet back. And I always like to start from tabletop. And we're going to bring the right knee forward by the right wrist. And just swing the foot out in front of the left hip and slowly begin to inch the left knee back. Okay. So we're not here for too long, so let's keep this right foot low. A lot of people who are flexible want to bring this right shin parallel to the top of the mat, but today we're really not here for long, and we're just again targeting this SI joint, running down the outer hip. So let's just take an inhale and exhale, slowly fold forward. And this is again another spot that you can reach over, grab your block, prop it up underneath your elbows, you can rest your head on the block. And that same idea of just soften the shoulders, relax your head, and close the eyes, and just keep your awareness right here, right now on the breath. Notice how your body feels, the sense of your body, your whole body is breathing in and breathing out. Just try to relax a little bit into it, feeling that left kidney. If you're folded forward in pigeon pose, the left kidney is what softens down. Be mindful if you're holding or resisting anywhere in the body. See if you can, with that awareness, just let it go. Or maybe just lessen it. Let's take 3 more breaths on this side. And we'll begin to bring the hands under the shoulders. Press into the hands and lift your head. And we're going to keep pressing into the hands so that we can inch the left knee in slowly and return to the hands and knees. Alright, so if you're still seated in that modified version, you're welcome to stretch out your legs. For those of you who are on hands and knees, let's make some big circles with that right knee. Go both directions. Okay. And then we'll return back to center. And we'll switch sides. So if you're seated, the right leg stretches out. We cross the left ankle on top of the right thigh. If you're on your hands and knees, we slide the left knee by the left wrist, bring the foot out in front of the right hip, and inch the right knee back slowly. Kind of find your depth in the pose, and then begin to just surrender to it. Again, just turning your mind inward. So closing the eyes is a great way to kind of filter out distractions around you. Remembering that the mind and the breath are like a mirror reflection. And so as we just create a smooth, deep breath, we will also create that same calm landscape in the mind. And vice versa. Relaxing your teeth and your tongue. Taking our last few breaths here. And transition out of the pose nice and slow. Bringing the hands under the shoulders and just pressing into the hands. Inch the back knee in. So if you're still seated, just stretch out your legs, move the knees and toes in and out. And for those of you on the hands and knees, we're going to lift the left knee up, make just a couple circles one direction, and then in the opposite direction. All right, so everyone, let's come on to our back. So just swing your legs around, shift your hips forward, and come on to your back, please. All right. We're going to begin with the feet about hips width distance apart. We're setting up for bridge pose. So I've got the arms down by my side, and we want to make sure the knees point directly forward, that the knees aren't pointing out to the corners, okay? The knees are right in line with the hips. And just as you inhale, we're going to press into the feet, press into the outer arms, roll onto the upper back, lifting the thighs. And as you exhale, nice and slow, begin to lower down one vertebrae at a time, and we're going to pull the tailbone towards the heels to try to lengthen out that lumbar spine. Again, inhale, coming up to your highest point, open your collarbones. Exhale, one vertebrae at a time, and feel that massage, drawing your tailbone down to your heels. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. And pause. Pause. Okay. So we're going to reach over and grab our block again. Okay, I'm going to take the block, I'm going to turn it sideways or a long ways, excuse me, I'm going to put it in between the thighs. So this is just a really good little exercise to do as a preventative for SI joint issues. So what we do is we've got the block in between the thighs, and on your inhale, we're going to squeeze the block. Exhale, relax. Inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, relax. And just continue to do that with your breath. So what we're doing with this little sequence is we're going to stretch and strengthen the SI joint. And a lot of times our issues of sciatica are just from a lack of stretch and strengthen. It's absorbing, that area of the body absorbs a lot of compression, especially if we sit in an office chair all day or we happen to travel a lot for work. We sit on the airplane or take long drives in the car. Let's do one more. So as you inhale, squeeze the block, and exhale, relax. Okay, so let's take the block and set it over to the side. I'm going to grab my strap. So remember we made our strap with a loop that wasn't too big. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my feet through that loop, and I'm going to bring the loop around the thighs. So we can now adjust the tightness of the strap. We want it kind of loose, but to where it's not falling down the leg. So there's a little bit of give here. Okay, and I've got it about midway on the thighs. So now we're going to do like an opposite action. So as you inhale, you relax. And on your exhale, we're going to open the thighs and press the thighs into the strap. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press and open the legs into the strap. Inhale, relax. Exhale, open against the strap. So continue to do this with your breath. We'll do it a few more rounds. This always feels really, really good. But the combo of this with action with the strap and the previous action with the block are really, really helpful for alleviating a lot of pain in the low back. When I was pregnant, I had insane sciatica. I had never had it before in my life. But these two actions, I did them almost daily. And it helped so much. So much. I wouldn't say it it down from like a 9 or 10 to like a 3 or a 2. So let's do that one more time. We inhale, relax, exhale into the strap. Okay, so now we'll just take the strap off of the legs and just return, okay? So let's take the strap again, and we're going to lift the right foot into the air. We're going to loop the strap around the foot, and we're just going to stretch into the right hamstrings and behind the knees. So I've got my hands on the strap, like I've got a little a tail of the strap in each hand, and let's go ahead and just slide the left leg long. And then keep your shoulders drawing down from the ears. And let's take an inhale. And on your exhale, see if you can bend your elbows just a little bit, going a little bit deeper into the stretch. And now there's a feeling of the heel is reaching up, but the sitting bone wants to drop down. So see if you can find that extra little space of releasing the sitting bone down. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just take this right leg, right foot, and we're going to cross the midline of the body, just a few inches. You might bring both ends of the strap into your left hand and release your right arm down. And so you can even take this right hand to the outer right thigh or hip and just gently press away from you. And you should feel this big stretch down the outer seam of the right leg, maybe even all the way to the ankle. Let's take one more inhale, and exhale nice and slow. Come back to center. Remove the strap from your right foot, bend the right knee into the chest. Hug the knee in. Now keep the knee into your chest, bring your arms down by your side, and we're going to make some circles with the right knee. Circling the right knee all the way in and all the way out. And when the time feels right, go the opposite direction. Circling the knee back into the chest. Drop your right foot to the ground. Now shift your hips to the right about an inch. And slowly begin to roll onto the outer left leg. I'm going to hook my right toes behind the left knee so that we come into a gentle twist, a gentle reclined twist. If you'd like your left hand to rest on top of the right knee, you're welcome to. And you can even stretch your right arm out wide. Let's just keep the head in neutral. And breathe into whatever you feel, where you feel it. Just observe without any judgment, without any reaction. Just remain soft. One more breath in and breathe out to release the twist. Let's bend our knees, recenter the hips, and just pause for a moment. So now let's lift the left foot into the air, loop the strap around the left foot, and we want to, I didn't say this on the first slide, but we want to hold the strap as close to the foot as we can so the arms are long. A lot of times we want to hold the strap way down here, close to them, but just stretch out your arms and soften your shoulders. Okay, go ahead and slide your right leg long. And we take an inhale. And on your exhale, just a little bend of the elbows to bring the leg a little bit closer to you so that we can open up the hamstrings, the hips, behind the knee. And it's all so connected. And so just that little adjustment of pointing the left heel up and dropping down into the left hip, and just see what those opposing actions in the same leg, what does that do? What effect does that have? And let's take another breath in and breathe out. We're going to now take the left leg, just cross over the midline of the body, just barely crossing over. Your right hand can hold both into the strap. You can relax your left arm down, or again, take your left hand to the outer hip and just gently roll that hip away from you. So you can decide what feels the best. And we're constantly just kind of recalibrating this balance of effort and ease, because what we might feel on one side might be a whole different experience than the other side. And that's just part of our beautiful human body experience. But we just try to maintain just our softness, maintaining the breath. Let's take one more inhale here. And exhale slowly to center. So bring your left leg back and remove the strap as you bend the left knee into the chest, hugging the knee in. With your arms down by your side, we're going to make some circles with the left knee. Maybe go 2 or 3 times in one direction and 2 or 3 times in the opposite. And we'll drop the left foot down to the mat. So shift your hips to the left about 1 inch. And start to roll onto the outer right leg, hooking the left toes behind the right knee so that we come into this gentle reclined twist. I've got my right hand resting on the left knee or thigh. Left arm, left shoulder is comfortable. The head is in neutral. Maybe close the eyes again and just go inside. And just greet yourself with compassion, kindness. One more inhale. Exhale to center, nice and slow. So just bend your knees and pause. You can bring your hips back to center. Okay, so we're going to do just a couple more things, and this is kind of I'd say the medicine, the peak of where I wanted to lead you guys today. Is the specific work that we're about to do right now. So I'm going to start with my left side. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift our hips to the left about 1 inch and send the right leg long. The left leg goes into the air, and the arms are going to be out wide into a T with the palms down. So this is our center neutral. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, we're going to take that left leg over to the right. And go as far as you can, but no more than parallel to the ground. Inhale, return back to center, releasing the left hip. Exhale, rolling to your right, but press into the left heel. Actually press into both heels. Both legs are very active here. 2 more times. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, take the left leg over to the right. Strong action through the legs, maybe even spread the toes. Last one, inhale, exhale. So again, we come into the twist, and we don't want to go more than parallel to the ground. Now, we're just going to stay in the twist, and we're going to bend the left knee. So as you inhale, squeeze the heel to your glutes. Squeeze, squeeze. So that you feel your hamstrings activate. Exhale, straighten and extend through the left leg, deepening the twist. Again, inhale, squeeze the heel in. Exhale, a strong extension through the left leg. Inhale, bending the knee, squeeze the heel into the glute. Exhale, extend and press into the left heel. Now, bend your left knee 90 degrees, and we're going to lift the heel higher than the knee. It can be a centimeter. And what this is doing is fanning open the low left back. There might even be an element of challenge here, and I want you to breathe into that challenge. We're breaking up some things that have settled in this area of the body, and it might be more than physical. We might be breaking up some things that are stuck in those lower chakras. So shaking is normal. Let's take 2 more breaths. And as you have that last exhale, go ahead and roll onto your back and bring the left knee into the chest. I'm going to take my left hand to the knee, and we're going to open the left knee out to the left for just a little counter stretch. And then bring your left knee back to center and drop your foot down. And just as you recenter the body, this time we're going to stretch out the legs. And just take a moment to just notice what you feel or what your experience was on that side. So let's do that the opposite direction now. So shift your hips to the right. Keep your left leg long and send your right leg into the air. So this is our center neutral with the right hip on the ground. We take a big inhale and exhale. Now roll to your left and press into your right heel. Don't go more than parallel to the ground with that right leg. Inhale, return to center neutral. Exhale, rolling to the left, and really strong press through the legs. Keep both legs very active through the inner heels and ankles. Inhale to center, right leg high. Exhale, rolling over to the left, press into your right heel. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, and exhale into the twist. As you inhale, bend the right knee, squeezing the heel of the glute, feel your hamstrings activate. And exhale, straighten and extend into the right leg. Inhale. Squeeze it in. Exhale, strong, straighten and extend, deepening the stretch. Last one. Inhale, bend the knee and squeeze it in, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, straighten and extend. Bend your right knee 90 degrees, and we lift the heel just as a little bit higher than the knee. So now we fanned open the right low back. Just breathe into it. We just break up whatever has settled into this area of the body, whether it's physical or energetic or emotional. One more breath in and breathe out. Roll onto your back. Hug the right knee into the chest. And just keeping the right hand on the knee, just open the knee out for a little counter stretch. And come back to center. Come back. Recenter your body. That always feels so good. Feels like a sense of cleansing. So let's take our block. And so I've got my feet about hip-width distance apart. We're going to take the block, and I've got it on my lowest height. We're going to lift the hips up, and I'm going to slide this block right underneath the sacrum, so this low, flat area of the back. And just let your hips and the low back sit on that block. Don't try to hold yourself up so that we're like in a supported bridge pose. And this should feel like a sweet spot, like we're giving our low back a little bit of a massage. Now you can stay here or Start to lift your feet into the air, and we're in waterfall legs. And then you can move the ankles around a little bit. Maybe circling the ankles. You can point and flex. Or just let the legs be still and sense the blood cascading down the legs in the opposite direction. If your feet are in the air, nice and slow, start to bend your knees and release your feet down. We're going to press into the feet, lift your hips off of your block, slide your block out from underneath you, and come back down slowly. Please bring both knees to the chest, both knees in. Hands on the knees, let's rock side to side. Come back to center, keep the knees into the chest, your arms are down by your side, and now we're going to make a circular movement with the knees, giving a circular massage around the sacrum. You can go in the opposite direction when you're ready. As you circle the knees back into the chest, release your feet to the ground. Now let both knees butterfly open, the soles of the feet come together. Just relax. Relax the inner hips, the groins, the thighs. Please bring your knees back to center. We're going to bring the knees towards each other and walk your feet a little bit wider than the knees, a little bit wider than the hips. And you can keep your arms down by your side. Just think about spreading the low back nice and wide, very broad on the low back. See if you can drop a little bit deeper into that area. And then just let your knees fall to the right and to the left. And again to the right and to the left. Please come back to center. And we're going to stretch out the legs one at a time. Turn your palms face up. Just let your toes roll open. Relax your kneecaps, relax your thighs. Just lay back. Close your eyes. And hopefully we have created just a little bit of space. Maybe a sense of like clearing out pathways so that energy can flow. You feel your whole body breathing. And this feeling of life force and vitality rides on the flow of the breath, nurturing your whole vessel. As you're ready, just let your breath deepen. You can start to stretch your fingers and toes. And gently rolling your head side to side. Maybe stretching the arms overhead on your exhale, just one more time, let's bring the knees all the way into the chest and just hug the thighs into the body. Slowly roll to one side and just pause there, take a breath or two. And then come up and come out to a comfortable seat. Just keeping the eyes closed. I've got my palms facing up, so I'm not holding or gripping in the hands. As you become aware of the breath in and out of the nose, just take a moment to reflect. Observe how you feel. Let's draw the hands together and bow the chin. Thank you so much for tuning in and practicing with me today. I hope that this practice brings you a huge sense of relief. So thank you. And in honor of each other, Namaste.